In the heart of Africa, where the Congo River flows with an untamed spirit, lived Selina.
Born and raised in the bustling city of Kinshasa, I knew hardship firsthand.
Selina yearned for a life less ordinary, a life where she could command her destiny and build an empire of her own.
I understood that true wealth lay not just in possessing riches, but in creating opportunities for myself and for others.
Real estate, with its potential to shape landscapes and lives, called out to her entrepreneurial spirit.
I embraced the struggle, knowing that the path to greatness was often paved with obstacles.
Driven by an unwavering belief in herself, Selina embarked on her journey. This is her story, a tale of ambition, love, and the audacity to dream big. The seed of Selina's ambition blossomed into Sunrise Properties, her very own real estate venture.
Every brick laid, every contract signed was a testament to my unwavering commitment.
To the world, she was a silent investor, a phantom presence funding the dreams of others.
No one knew the depths of my involvement, the countless hours I dedicated to transforming Sunrise Properties.
Selina's anonymity was her shield, protecting her from the prejudices and doubts that often plagued women in her field.
It was also a test, a way to prove that success was not about who you were, but what you were capable of achieving.
Selina's days were a study in contrasts.
But to the cleaning staff, I was simply Selina, a hardworking and unassuming colleague.
She arrived at the office each morning before the sun peeked over the Kinshasa skyline, her tailored suits replaced by the nondescript uniform of a cleaner.
My secret was my shield, protecting me from the scrutiny and preconceived notions that often accompanied wealth and power.
It was a lonely existence, living a double life, but Selina drew strength from the knowledge that she was in control.
And so I, the boss lady, remained hidden in plain sight, a master of disguise orchestrating my success from the most unexpected of places.
She observed everything, her sharp mind absorbing details, analyzing strategies, and making decisions that shaped the destiny of Sunrise Properties from the shadows. Fate, it seemed, had a peculiar sense of humor.
Richard was ambitious and driven, eager to prove himself in the competitive world of real estate.
Selina, observing him from the periphery, found herself drawn to his infectious energy and unwavering optimism.
I, accustomed to the calculated world of business, found myself captivated by Richard's genuine spirit.
He treated everyone with respect, from the highest executive to the cleaning staff, his kindness radiating outwards like a warm embrace.
Little did either of us know that our chance encounters were laying the foundation for a love story as improbable as it was profound.
Their paths crossed in the hallways, during coffee breaks, and in the elevator, each encounter a stolen glance, a fleeting smile, a spark of connection igniting between them. As weeks melted into months, Selina and Richard's friendship blossomed into something deeper.
We discovered common interests, shared dreams, and a mutual respect that laid the groundwork for a love that neither of us had anticipated.
Richard, unaware of Selina's true position within the company, treated her with the same kindness and respect he showed everyone else.
I confided in her about my family, my dreams of success, and my hopes of finding a love that would last a lifetime.
But the truth of her double life, the secret that shielded her from the world, remained locked away, a silent barrier between them.
And I, torn between my desire for authenticity and the fear of jeopardizing all that I had built, clung to my secret, praying that the truth would not shatter the fragile happiness I had found in Richard's arms.
Their love story unfolded against the backdrop of Sunrise Properties, the company that both connected and separated them.
I yearned to spend my life with her, to build a future together, where our love would be the foundation upon which all else was built.
And so one evening, as the sun dipped below the Kinshasa skyline, Richard, with a heart full of hope and a trembling hand, asked Selina to be his wife.
Will you marry me?
Selina, torn between her desire for honesty and the fear of losing the one man who had captured her heart, hesitated.
Yes.
Their wedding was a joyous occasion, a celebration of love witnessed by family and friends.
But even as I spoke the words, a part of me remained detached, my secret a silent observer to the unfolding of my life.
The honeymoon phase eventually gave way to the realities of married life.
I became dismissive of her opinions, belittling her contributions to our life together.
Richard, successful in his career, grew increasingly distant, his behavior towards Selina shifting from adoration to indifference.
Instead, he saw only what I allowed him to see, a simple, unassuming wife who paled in comparison to the ambitious, high-flying world he inhabited.
Whispers of Richard's infidelity began to reach Selina's ears, carried on the wind of office gossip.
At first, I dismissed them as malicious rumors, clinging to the belief that the man I loved was incapable of such betrayal.
But as the whispers grew louder, fueled by Richard's increasingly brazen behavior, Selina could no longer ignore the truth.
I discovered his secret rendezvous with colleagues, witnessed his blatant disregard for our vows, and felt the sting of his indifference cut deeper with each passing day.
Confronted with the undeniable evidence of his infidelity, Richard showed no remorse.
You're too simple, too ordinary, unable to keep up with my ambitions and desires.
Richard's infidelity, once a whisper, now roared through Selina's life like a raging storm.
The pain of his betrayal cut deep, piercing the very core of my being.
But it was the casual cruelty of his actions, the utter disregard for her feelings, that truly broke her spirit.
He seemed to relish in my humiliation, flaunting his newfound freedom with a recklessness that bordered on malice.
Selina, once the pillar of strength in their relationship, found herself crumbling under the weight of his betrayal.
I've met someone else, someone who understands my dreams, my ambitions, someone who can keep pace with my fast-paced life.
But amidst the wreckage of her shattered dreams, a spark of defiance ignited within Selina.
Richard's betrayal, his callous disregard for my feelings, had awakened a strength I never knew I possessed.
The pain was still raw, the wound still bleeding, but through the haze of her heartbreak, Selina made a vow to herself.
I would not be defined by his actions. I would not allow his betrayal to diminish my worth.
Richard had mistaken her silence for weakness, her kindness for naivety.
He had underestimated my strength, my resilience, my unwavering spirit, and now it was time for him to face the consequences of his actions.
Selina would rise above the ashes of their broken marriage, stronger and more determined than ever before. It was an official document from Sunrise Properties, a formal summons to a meeting with the company's elusive owner. 3 days before Richard's planned wedding, a letter arrived at his desk.
Sighs. What could this be about?
A shiver of unease ran down Richard's spine as he read the words.
This can't be good.
To be summoned personally by this enigmatic individual could only mean one thing: trouble. The day of the meeting arrived, casting a shadow of apprehension over Richard. His earlier bravado had evaporated, replaced by a gnawing sense of unease. He had tried to rationalize the summons, attributing it to a dip in his sales figures, or perhaps a minor infraction he had overlooked. But deep down, a primal instinct warned him that something significant was about to unfold.
Muttering to himself, just a performance review, nothing more.
He stood outside the frosted glass door of the company owner's office, his reflection staring back at him, a hollow shell of the confident young man he once was. With a deep breath, he raised his hand to knock but hesitated, as if the weight of his impending fate held him back. As if on cue, the door swung open, revealing the one person Richard had never expected to see. At least not like this.
Selina?
There, in the dimly lit office, stood Selina. But gone was the simple attire of a cleaning lady, replaced by a tailored power suit that exuded an aura of authority. Her hair, usually pulled back in a practical bun, cascaded down her shoulders in soft waves. Her eyes, once filled with warmth and laughter, now held a steely glint that sent a shiver down Richard's spine.
Richard, please come in.
He stumbled through the doorway, his mind reeling from the shock of seeing Selina transformed, her true identity finally revealed. The silence in the room was deafening. Richard, still struggling to process the revelation before him, could only stare at Selina, his mind a whirlwind of confusion and disbelief. The woman he thought he knew, the woman he had so easily dismissed, now sat before him, the very embodiment of power and authority.
Surprised to see me here, Richard?
Selina, for her part, seemed to relish his discomfort. She leaned back in her chair, her gaze unwavering as she studied his every reaction. The years of anonymity, the countless hours spent observing from the shadows had honed her instincts, giving her an almost preternatural ability to read people's thoughts and emotions.
Selina, I don't understand.
Oh, I think you understand perfectly, Richard. You see, I have a confession to make. I'm not exactly who you thought I was.
She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in before continuing.
For the past few years, I've been living a double life. To you, I was Selina, the cleaner. But in reality, I am the owner of this company, the one you're about to be fired from.
Richard's world began to crumble as the true scope of his actions came crashing down on him.
You're fired!
Richard's jaw dropped, his face draining of color as the full impact of Selina's words hit him. His carefully constructed world, the life he had taken for granted, was crumbling around him. All those years of casual disrespect, of belittling Selina and her contributions, now came back to haunt him with a vengeance.
You see, Richard, I built this company from the ground up. Every brick, every contract, every success story bears my mark. And yet you, the man who vowed to love and cherish me, treated me with nothing but contempt.
She stood up, towering over him, her eyes blazing with a mixture of anger and disappointment.
You thought I was weak, insignificant. You mistook my kindness for weakness, my silence for consent, and in doing so, you revealed your true character or lack thereof. No, Richard, I will not be a party to your games any longer. You are fired, effective immediately. Consider this my wedding gift to you, a parting reminder that you should never underestimate the quiet ones. We often hold the loudest storms within.
Richard, his head spinning, could only stammer out a weak protest, but the words died in his throat. Selina's gaze, filled with quiet fury, silenced him more effectively than any shouted reprimand ever could. He had lost everything: his wife, his job, his dignity, all because he had failed to see the value in the woman who stood before him. As Richard stumbled out of Selina's office, his dreams lying in ruins at his feet, a single thought echoed through his mind. He had made a grave mistake, one that he would regret for the rest of his days. Richard's world had been turned upside down. He walked the streets of Kinshasa a stranger in his own city. The bustling crowds that had once seemed so familiar now felt distant, their laughter grating on his ears. He had been blinded by his own arrogance, his belief that his success, his charm, entitled him to treat those around him with disrespect. He had mistaken Selina's silence for weakness, her humility for lack of ambition. He had judged her by the clothes she wore, the work she did, blind to the strength, the intelligence, the unwavering determination that lay beneath the surface. And for that, he was paying the ultimate price. The life he had so carefully constructed, the future he had envisioned with his new fiancée, lay in ruins, shattered by his own hand. The irony was not lost on him. The very qualities he had so casually dismissed in Selina, her strength, her resilience, her unwavering spirit, were the very qualities that now haunted him, a constant reminder of his own failings. Selina watched Richard's retreating figure from her office window, a mixture of emotions washing over her. There was a sense of satisfaction, of course, in seeing him face the consequences of his actions. But there was also a tinge of sadness, a lingering ache for the love they had once shared, a love that had been poisoned by his betrayal. She had learned a valuable lesson, one that had come at a high cost. Trust, once broken, was difficult to rebuild. Love, no matter how strong, could not survive in the face of constant disrespect and betrayal. But from the ashes of her broken heart, Selina rose stronger, more determined than ever to live a life true to herself. She poured her energy into her company, guiding it to even greater heights. She used her platform to champion the causes she believed in, to empower women and fight for social justice. Richard's betrayal had inadvertently set her free, allowing her to embrace her true identity, not just as a successful businesswoman, but as a woman of strength, compassion, and unwavering integrity. Selina's story is a reminder to us all that true strength lies not in wealth or power, but in character, integrity, and the courage to treat others with respect, regardless of their station in life. It is a story about the importance of humility, of recognizing that everyone has a story to tell, a journey that has shaped them into the people they are today. Richard's downfall serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that arrogance and disrespect will ultimately lead to isolation and regret. It is a lesson about the importance of recognizing the value in those around us, of treating everyone with dignity and kindness, for we never know the battles they have fought, the dreams they hold dear. And so, as we navigate the complexities of life, let us remember Selina'S story, a story that reminds us that true success is measured not by the size of our bank accounts, but by the depth of our character and the legacy we leave behind. Let this be a lesson to us all.